Thank you, Dinesh Bhai. So after that wonderful video about the history of CSN and what is happening today, and after hearing why this summit is necessary from Dinesh Bhai, I want to speak just a few minutes about something important, about the past, and more importantly, about the future. First of all, not just the future of EVs, not just the future of manufacturing, but the future of cities. That is extremely important, in my opinion. Because history teaches us one very important lesson. Great industrial cities are not created by governments alone. They are built when local entrepreneurs collectively decide that their city deserves better destiny, bigger destiny. That is the most critical element. Now, if we were to look at history, look at Seoul. Seoul is, as you all know, is the capital of Korea. In 1950s and 60s, it was devastated because of North Korean and South Korean war. But Korea backed manufacturing deeply. Electronics, automobiles, shipbuilding. Shipbuilding was earlier in Netherlands. It moved to Korea. And semiconductors. Those were the industries that it backed. Family businesses evolved into global champions like Samsung, LG, Hyundai. All of these are Korean family businesses which have become large conglomerates, which dominate the world today. But that is not the sole example. Let us look at Taipei and Taiwan. This is actually the most contextual example as of today in this AI world. Taiwan did not become powerful because it had massive oil or massive land. It's a small place. It became powerful because it mastered supply chain, precision engineering, electronics ecosystem, and engineering talent. I was surprised to know, day before yesterday, that top 50 out of 500 universities are in Taiwan. And currently, they do not have students because it is such a small place. But that education created an ecosystem which took Taiwan to a developed developed country region. Taiwan's per capita income is $31,000 US, against China, which is $13,500 US, and against India, which is $2,800 US. So it is like, really, really strong country. And 90% of top-end chips come from, probably more, come from Taiwan, from one company, TSMC. Now, but that is not all. Now let us come closer to what CSN is doing. And probably the most successful story in the world. It is the city of Shenzhen in China. 40 years ago, Shenzhen had 3 lakh people, and it was a fishing town. It was known for fishing. Today, it is one of the greatest manufacturing and technology ecosystems. Why? Because it combined speed, infrastructure, export orientation, engineering talent, extraordinary manufacturing supply chains. In Shenzhen, ideas become from prototype to products. It happens in no time. BYD, which is the largest EV manufacturer in the world, is in Shenzhen. It achieved 100% electrification of public transport. Not today, not 5 years ago, but 10 years ago. It had got 12,000 electric buses 10 years ago. And it is one of the quietest city. When it comes to road noise, it is one of the quietest city. But it was not only about the buses or government incentives. It required entire charging infrastructure. It required maintenance. It required battery. Entire ecosystem had to be built. It required will of the people. And that is what Shenzhen is. Shenzhen area, just to put things in perspective, Shenzhen and nearby area generates $1 trillion of economic output. Just as context, India's total output is $4 trillion a year. Shenzhen and nearby areas is $1 trillion a year. Bombay and Pune, which is the most industrial belt and financial capital, generates roughly $400 billion a year of economic output. So this is the path which Shenzhen chose. San Francisco, it chose a completely different path. It built an ecosystem of universities. Stanford is the university which has which controls, the founders of Stanford controls the maximum market capitalization in the US. In fact, JITO team had gone to Shenzhen, and what I realized after that, I did to America, and what I realized after that, there is no trillion-dollar company east of Mississippi. All trillion-dollar companies are on west of Mississippi. All of them are mostly in San Francisco. There's only one company which is close to $1 trillion, JP Morgan, which is in New York. Everything else is in Silicon Valley. So that is the power of ecosystem, power of venture capital, intellectual property, and everybody coming together. So that is what is important. Dubai understood this ambition. I've had a personal fortune to work in Dubai 20 years ago when they were designing those cities. And I asked them, I was very young, so I could ask any question. So I asked there was a sheikh, and there was a Moroccan gentleman. And I said, why are you building all these islands and all of that? So he looked at me for 20 seconds, and I was very uncomfortable because I was very junior also. And then he said, where are you from? I said, I am from Delhi. So he said, do you know Taj Mahal? Do you know Qutub Minar? Do you know Red Fort? I said, yes. So he said, we are doing what you did in 16th century. We are doing it now. We are building this iconic structure because we are creating a platform, and this is a global platform where we want to attract everybody. So that was their response. So, it hit me. Because I was looking at it purely from an economic standpoint. There are no people, what will all of these islands do? But look at what has happened in the last 20 years. It has really transformed. Global wealth is moving. Ellen Mittal, by the way, has moved from London to Dubai. So Lakshmi Narayan Mittal, one of the richest Indians, one of the richest people globally, steel tycoon, has moved from London to Dubai. Now, Riyadh and Abu Dhabi are doing the same thing. They are thinking 20, 30 years at least ahead. They are investing into AIs, EVs, energy, industrial parks, sovereign manufacturing. Sovereign manufacturing is something which is very close to my heart, and technology ecosystem, because they understand the next generation of economic power will belong to people that build ecosystem, not isolated factories. And closer home. Why go far? Let's closer home. Look at Dholera. Dholera is in Gujarat. There is a Tata and PSMC. PSMC is a Taiwanese company. They are setting up a 91,000 crore first fab manufacturing project in the country. Now, Dholera is like a barren land, unlike Aurangabad, which is a thriving city and an old city. It's a barren land. They have built an airport. They are planning everything there. It is under Smart City mission, and the whole thing is being undertaken in a planned way. So that is essentially what is required. Now, the most important question is CSN. The good news is CSN has all the ingredients. Dinesh Bhai talked about it: entrepreneurial families, industrial culture, manufacturing DNA, engineering DNA, engineering talent. Land is a big issue in manufacturing. Connectivity, it is on Delhi-Mumbai highway corridor, and the mindset of hard work. All of these things are required, and very few cities in the world are fortunate to have all of these things. So you are at a privileged place. All of us today are at a very privileged place. But the next leap requires a different mindset. We cannot think project to project. We must think ecosystem to ecosystem. We cannot think quarter to quarter. We need to think, as Ajay sir would also say, generations to generations. That is what we need to think. And that is where the real value will get created. The entrepreneurs of CSN must now take this destiny into their hands and their own hands and drive it. This summit should not merely become an event. It should become a beginning of a long-term industrial movement, a movement where EV manufacturing grows, component ecosystems develop, startups emerge, global partnerships happen, engineering talent stays back and comes, and the city becomes known nationally and globally for advanced manufacturing. The future of industrial winners of this world will not be cities that wait. They will be cities that build early, think boldly, and collaborate deeply. CSN has that opportunity. And perhaps years later, people may look back and say, this is the decade when CSN decided to become one of India's greatest industrial cities, and this was the day when JITO acted as a catalyst to give velocity to that vision. Jai Hind.